These videos provide an introduction to Excel and Google Sheets. In this second video, I will cover formats, or how to make your information look how you want it to look. In the next few videos, I'll introduce formulas and the Excel template that we use for financials. I encourage you to follow along and practice these steps in either Excel or Google Sheets. Excel allows you to change the font type, size, colors, and other formats to make your worksheet look like you want it to. Many of the options are in the navigation bar at the top of the page. What's important to know is that formatting changes the presentation, or how it looks, but it doesn't change the actual information in the cell. So making something bigger, smaller, or a different number structure doesn't change what's actually stored in that cell. Let's run through some of the different formats that you can use. Excel can treat a word like a word and a number like a number. What this means is that you can type lots of text or do calculations like on a calculator, or both. Looking at this format worksheet, we already have some information included in column B. Let's replicate that information in column C together. A lot of what we've seen so far is written text. If you type unicorn into a cell and hit enter, Excel knows that unicorn is a word and you can't do any calculations with that word. You may include text in your Excel file to label your numbers. For example, to clarify that something is units sold or the cost per unit. When you type in the number 12 on your keyboard, Excel automatically formats 12 as a number. What if you want that number to have a decimal? Say it's really important to know that the number is 12.0, not just 12. You can change the format of that number. If you want it to be 12.0, move your mouse to the increase decimal button in the navigation bar. If you click on this once, it will add one decimal point, so the number now reads 12.0. Click on it again, and it'll add another decimal. If you want to round the number up or down and show more or fewer decimal points, you can click the increase or the decrease decimal point button. While 12 and 12.0 are the exact same number, the format changes the presentation of the data and allows you to format it in a way that makes sense to you. Maybe you want to format a number as currency. In our case, probably US dollars. If you type the number 25.31, it'll come up in Excel as 25.31. To clarify that you mean $25.31, you'll want to format that dollar with a dollar sign in front of it. To do that, click on the dollar sign icon. This will change your number format from 25.31 to $25.31. Remember, the data didn't change, just the way you present it. Let's look at a date, like March 27th, 1995. You can type that date as you'd write it out, 3/27/95, and hit enter. Excel automatically determines that this is a date, and it formats your cell to look like one. You can change the format of dates by finding the drop-down in the number section, and instead of short date, you can select long date, which now reads Monday, March 27th, 1995. This format change hasn't changed the actual date. We know that from looking at our formula bar. If you accidentally select number, Excel will convert it to a number that corresponds to the date you typed in. Once you change it back to a date format, it will again look like the date you inputted. Another format that's nice to know as we talk about margins and growth rates is percentages. When you're typing in your number, in this case 43%, simply include the percentage sign when you're typing in the cell. If you forget where the percentage sign is on your keyboard, you can click the percentage button in the number section. Just be careful that it's the percentage you want. If you type the number 43 rather than 0.43 and hit the percent button, Excel assumes you mean 4,300% instead of 43. Let's run through a couple more formatting options. One thing you can change is the colors of each cell. Let's say you want to draw people's attention to cell A9. Using the style, size, and colors, you can make the cell really stand out. Using drop-downs, I'm going to change the font style, the font size, the background color, and the font color. I could have left the background white and simply changed the text color. In cell A10, the text is green. I can change just that format and select the color that I want. You may also want to outline a cell or a group of cells to make them stand out. To add a border around a block of text or numbers, select the boxes and then the type of border that you would like. Maybe you want a thick outside border. Play with your options for borders on all cells versus just around the outside. Rows and columns start at a standard height and width. If you want to make your column bigger or smaller, it's as simple as grabbing the column at the top and dragging it back and forth to the width you want it to be. For example, if I want column A to be wider, then I move my mouse up to where columns A and B meet. You'll see an arrow pop up that you can drag to make A as wide as you'd like it to be. The same is true if you want your row to be taller, say to display more text. This is useful when you're trying to format your spreadsheet to look a certain way, especially if you're using it in your business plan or for a presentation. You may want to insert or remove a row or column. Say I realize I want a column between what I currently have in columns A and B. One way I can insert a column or a row is by using the Insert button at the top of the page. Clicking that, you have the options to insert cells, insert sheet rows, insert sheet columns, and insert sheet. By clicking Insert Sheet Columns, Excel will insert a blank column between what's in columns A and B. Now I have a blank column where I can type in new data, instead of having to delete and replicate what I already had when I realized that I needed that space there. So to summarize, Excel and Google Sheets allow you to change formats to suit your needs, the colors, sizes, and ways of writing out numbers that you want. This allows you to lay out and organize your worksheets how you'd like them to look. In the next video, we'll cover formulas.